We all need Canada's youth to succeed. We need youth to help design drones to put out forest fires and ensure artificial intelligence doesn't outsmart us all. We need youth to help cure the diseases we don't even know exist yet.
We need new skills
for a completely new job force.
But we're not prepared.
That's why RBC created Future Launch, to empower Canadian youth for the jobs of tomorrow.
Like people, businesses have their journey, their path, sometimes straight, but more often evolving, growing, and adapting. And like people, businesses' needs change, creating the need for knowledge in areas like accounting, consulting, and tax. Areas critical to your continued growth and success, all part of the journey, and all part of what we do together with you. So that when your business has arrived, it's ready to keep going. MNP, wherever business takes you.
Welcome to Pythons Pit. Welcome, Hakam. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm very well. Welcome to Pythons Pit, and congratulations for the work you've done so far, and congratulations for being one of the group that's made it to the filming here today. So you know you have 3 minutes to do your presentation.
Yeah.
So if you're all set, the Pythons are all set. The floor is yours.
Good afternoon, Pythons. My name is Hakam Sangha from Tempeplus. Before I start, I'd like to ask you a question. So could I have a show of hands to see how many of you ever forgot to check the weather in the morning before you got dressed, and as a result been either too warm or too cold out at your workplace? I can also personally relate to that problem. Imagine if there was a jacket that could automatically adjust to your body temperature no matter what the weather be outside. Before I tell you about my amazing idea, let me share you the story about how I created this idea. So last semester, I had a gym class. Every day after my gym class, I'd always be feeling very hot and sweaty and not want to put on my coat. I'd have to make a difficult decision, either wear my coat and feel uncomfortable or not wear it and risk getting sick. Pythons, I've created Tempeplus. Tempeplus combines two revolutionary technologies to create one smart jacket. This jacket has the ability to heat as well as cool, making it suitable for all seasons, making it an all-season jacket. This jacket will be sold for $300 and also help customers save money. On the market, an average winter jacket costs around $275. A spring jacket can cost about $75. Both those put together is more than my jacket, and my jacket can do both of the things that those two jackets do, as well as make it more convenient for customers. I'll be selling my product online to my website, tempeplus.ca, and will be outsourcing the e-commerce component to Shopify. Shopify will ensure that the customers' purchases are done securely and safely. My primary research shows that 70% of the students surveyed at McMaster University were interested in a product like mine. My product can be sold to any age group, but to start, I will be looking to target the university students because they spend lots of time going in and out of different buildings, experiencing many different climate changes. To make this product come to life, I'll need a very skillful team. My team will include an electrical engineer who will be in charge of creating a prototype as well as developing the Tempeplus website. I also have a marketing manager who will be in charge of running an Instagram advertising campaign. With $5,000, I'll first be looking to spend $4,000 of it on prototyping as well as testing the product. The remaining $1,000 will be spent on the Instagram advertising. I chose to advertise on Instagram because they have the highest user engagement out of all social medias, as well as its accessibility to my target market. Some data about this Instagram advertising is that for every $1,000 spent, I'll be able to get around 55,000 impressions, as well as 1,111 clicks onto my website. I estimate that 10% of the clicks onto my website will end up purchasing the product. And for my price of $300, that means it will be a revenue of $33,000 for the company. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy days to listen to my presentation about my company.
James, welcome to Pythons Pit. Thank you. We had a really interesting day today, but before we get into what happened today, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I'm a self-prescribed mortgage nerd. We've got a small company here called Lowen Group Mortgages in Burlington. Really fortunate to work with 6 amazing people on our team, and we just have a lot of fun helping people with all things financial, mostly on the mortgage side, and that's a little bit about us.
How long have you been doing that?
It's been about 12 years now. Time really flies by really quickly when you're doing what you love and working with great people.
That's great.
Yeah.
So Pythons Pit, what attracted you to get involved with Pythons Pit?
A lot of what we do is just simply is the education side, right? We're involved in that process from from end to end, and just explaining and developing and working with people on that, and being able to be part of the youth and their education and their process. Anything that we can try to help impart to see on their success. I'm just honored to be part of that, really, as well. So I've had amazing mentors from parents and teachers and colleagues and coworkers. I still work with coaches as well. I find that really, really important, and it's really influenced and helped shape me. So if I can impart that and share and help our amazing applicants that we had today, then I'm more than happy to do that.
So how did you find your experience today? How do you feel about it, and what was it like?
I feel it's great. I mean, each of the Pythons brings such a breadth of experience and expertise as well. So having that, I think, they're very fortunate to be able to have that. The cast, the crew, the support, everything is such a really different and unique experience for me. So definitely one I've really enjoyed too.
So we saw some really good presentations. Anything particularly inspired you today?
Yeah, it was really impressive to see. I mean, some of these students were as young as grade 9, and I think of myself in grade 9 and where I was at, and I feel like these guys have just far exceeded where I was, and it really makes me proud of the youth, the diligence they've done, the mathematics they've done, the researching, trademarking, websites. Like, that's a lot of work that they've accomplished, and at such a young age. I think for many of them, the world's their oyster. I
know, and when I think back, the things that they're talking about, I would not have known even about at this age. So.
I think they were teaching me a lot as we were going too.
So they obviously presented, but what advice might you give them? Things they could look at and look to improve?
Yeah, I'd say for the most part they did a fantastic job. Each one of them had slightly different areas where they could have some improvement, which each of the Pythons were very supportive and commenting onto that. It's got to be difficult, right? Standing in front of the lights, the camera, the 4 of us on stage. So I think they did a great job. And just like anything, practice, rehearse, and find that confidence to be able to share that, and get your story across.
So entrepreneurship, innovation, obviously really important in our community
Absolutely.
and in the growth of our economy. So how do you think Pythons Pit fits in, and what's Pythons Pit's role as it goes forward?
Yeah, I think it's great because it's fostering entrepreneurship, which I'm not sure if it's something that's always at the forefront and as an ideology of as an option, right, of employment. So I was very fortunate to be raised by an entrepreneur father that shared that insight and gave me that exposure. Without a parent having to show that, I don't know, sure, growing up I would have been exposed. So seeing these guys going into high schools and the amount of people that are coming together, from the sponsors, from the cast, the crew, the pits, the students, it's really amazing to see all of them coming in together and fostering something like that and giving them the exposure, giving the mentorship and the coaching. It really, really excites me to see these next entrepreneurs of our future.
Well, we had an awesome day.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for participating, and thanks for being a Python today.
My pleasure.
Okay. Hakam, that was a very good presentation. I have so many coats in the closet, my wife complains all the time. So if I can get one of those and streamline the number of coats, she'll be thrilled. So I think the Pythons have lots of questions for you. Let's start with Kelly. Kelly?
Great presentation again. I like the idea, and could you tell us a little bit more about the target market that you're going after and why you're going after that, and is this an affordable thing for a university student?
Yeah. So if, like I said, the price of a winter coat is $275, around that, like on average, and a spring coat being $75, and my coat is $300. So the average Canadian would spend around $350 on winter and spring coats. My coat is $300, making it cheaper than buying the 2 coats, as well as making it more accessible for them. And the reason I chose that target market is because my older brother goes to McMaster University, and he always tells me about how he has to bring a couple different hoodies and has to always change his clothes because of how the temperature is different. It's like in the summertime, the AC may be really strong inside, like maybe the food court, but maybe outside it'd be really warm. So he told me about a product like this could help him a lot. So and that's the main reason I'm targeting those ages.
I think the other benefit there, you'd be able to possibly co-brand with the university.
Yeah, put a logo on it.
Yeah.
And I'll have then, so I'm assuming it's a battery pack type of idea for the heating?
Yeah.
On the electrical side, and then just to clarify, so on the cooling side, it'd be the fabric, right? There wouldn't be any type of, Freon filled compressor that'd be inside there?
For the cooling part, there's a fabric. It's in some towels. It's being sold at Bed Bath & Beyond. It's called Mission Active, and it's basically heat wicking. So say if you're getting hot, you can just go like this a couple of times, and it'll wick the heat out of your body, and then therefore cooling your body.
I think I've got a couple of questions. One, I think if you did a survey that you'd like the idea of having heating and cooling built into a jacket, and people said yes, that's good. But how important is the style of the jackets? I feel like a lot of clothing and coats in particular are purchased not just because of cost savings, but because of the style or the brand or things like that. And I feel like that's going to be a big component to your success, is that the branding and the desire to own this particular brand is going to be very important, because there's lots of heated hoodies on the market. I did some Googling on that. I found like 5 in about 5 minutes. So, and if other people could catch on to this cooling fabric, so it's possible other people may have the technology you have. But, so I think the branding and the look, the style is going to be very critical for you. Do you have any thoughts on this? Any plans in terms of the style and making it something that's really desired versus just cost?
So like with the advertising, I'm hoping to build like a bit of hype on the product. Will also make people want to buy it, as well as I forgot to add in my team part. I'll be looking for a clothing designer to make it more fashionable, and I'll probably go with the colors black and white, because those are colors that can be matched with other clothes, which we can make it make people want to buy it more, so they look nice wearing it. As well as I'd be looking to put a logo here, and like you said about the school branding, I could add that in too.
I think you got a great market on that side, right? I mean, you go to your university, if you're not wearing your school's, hoodie, you're standing out like 90. So I mean, it's a big market there for you. I think you got.
I wanted to ask you a little more on competition. What's in the market? What are you going up against, and what's their price points for similar style jackets?
Yeah. So like I was talking about the heating hoodies, there's a pretty big company called Milwaukee. I don't know if you've seen it. It's being sold at like Home Depot, and that's more for like industrial wear. So say you're a worker and going into like an attic or something, or a basement, it'd be really cold, you use that to heating. So there's that, and those are pretty pricey as well. Those are around $250. And then there's also like the regular, like maybe Nike or Adidas hoodies. Those are also around $60, $70. So what I'm doing is I'm adding the heating and cooling. So it makes sense to make it priced higher than the Milwaukee hoodie, because it has a component that does not have. So I'll give it a step up.
And I see, have you looked into manufacturing side of it? Because that's very, very important to the style of the jacket and what you put on the market. So have you delved and kind of looked into who would manufacture it, where you would manufacture it?
Oh, I haven't looked into that thoroughly, but I assume I'd try to get it manufactured somewhere overseas where it'd be a little cheaper, especially starting out, where I won't have that much money. And for the prototyping, the electrical engineer I actually spoke with was one of my brother's friends, and he said he'd be willing to help me for exchange of some of the profits, and he'd work for free, but he'd take like 40% of the profits. So he said he'd help me prototype it.
Sir, I was going to say, did you notice, was there any of the wicking or the cooling on when you were looking at any existing jackets
I didn't
online?
notice anyone talking about that.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the key differentiator on that side. I would be looking or speaking with, you mentioned, I think it was Bed Bath & Beyond has something, if they've got a patent or such on that technology, that might be something to include with them. You've got distribution through them, channels as well. So it could be a partnership kind of idea in that regard too.
Yeah.
What do you expect how much money do you need to raise in total to get your product, to have actually some inventory and to start actually selling it?
Well, I don't have the exact number, but I feel like the $4,000 for prototyping and testing, that should be enough to make a couple. And then as those sell, I just keep getting money back and forth and just keep making more, and then selling them again, getting able to make more and more.
So you can make one at a time?
Yeah, because I feel like at the start there won't be such a high demand, where I wouldn't have to like keep up with it. Like say Nike, they'd have to make like thousands of hoodies because of how quick they'd sell. But for a new company like mine, I don't think it'd sell that quick, and maybe like a couple purchases like a month maybe. So I feel like that would be easy to keep up with.
This is a product that you do need scale in, I think, in order to be able to, you know, bring your material cost and everything down. So I think that's something that you should give more thought to. You know, maybe increasing your scale will give you more of a profit margin.
Okay, very good. Hakam, excellent presentation.
Thank you.
I think you had a lot of good questions, and it'd be interesting to see how you move this thought forward. So congratulations and great job getting this far. Let's see if we can get some comments, just a couple of summary comments from the Pythons. Clint, why don't we start with you?
Sure. Yeah, great job. I always love seeing young people take initiative like this. So, great idea. I love the fact that it's heating and cooling, and I hope that you are successful in developing your prototypes and things take off.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
No, good job, and it's nice that you were able to see the gap. You know, from talking to your family and friends, that there's a gap there and there's a need for it. So that's good.
Thank you.
I like the opportunity for branding with universities. My kids have multiple hoodies from all their different schools, and so yeah, good market.
And you of course have to buy one for the parents too. I know
Yeah,
my,
yeah.
the Laurier dad
Yeah,
bought everyone
got a
as
few
well.
of those.
So you can get, both students and I mean, I think it's great because you've already taken a product that's established that is a need. I mean, it's already in the marketplace, and so you don't have to reinvent a whole new wheel here. You're taking something and improving on to that. So I think it establishes that there's a need, and then you're finding an expanded market on that. So good on you.
Thank you. At first, I felt a little nervous, but when I started talking, I calmed down and felt good about it. I think it went good, and I think I learned a lot from that. They were nice, and they gave a lot of feedback to me about how to improve my product. I think I've learned a lot about just how to sell a product, a lot of ways how to hype something up, if you in a way, make excitement for something, and just a lot of new words to explain something.